Hello, and welcome to a special New Year's Day story from Prose. Today, on this first day of 2024, let's contemplate indecision and cowardice. We will be revisiting the short story, Yell Low, or 100 Indecisions. Happy 2024, be safe out there, and enjoy the tale.
Yell Low, or 100 Indecisions. Yell low. Yellow. Adjective. Yellow. Comparative. Yellower. Superlative. Yellowest. Synonyms: flaxen, golden, gold, blonde, blonde, fair. Offensive: having a naturally yellowish or olive skin. Often used to describe Chinese or Japanese people or others of Asian descent. Denoting a warning of danger that is thought to be near but not actually imminent. The yellow light warned him to stop. Informal, cowardly. That boy had better get here really quickly to prove that he is not yellow. Archaic, showing jealousy or suspicion. What can you do when you've lived all your dreams? What can you do when your red-hot coals burn out and become ashen, threatening to die altogether? What happens when all the lists of all the poetry of your soul have begun to yellow and are no longer viable? It's not like I ever made a conscious decision to be a coward. My transformation came slowly, over time at such a creeping pace that, like an aging man's hairline or an aging woman's waistline, I did not take notice until one day I was metaphorically bald and metaphorically fat. In truth, both of those distinguishers are now literally true as well, further diminishing my dying inner fire. One day, I was sleeping on the floors of strangers' homes in the heart of France. The next, I was too scared to leave the zip code for fear of getting too behind at work or on the household chores. One week, I was leaving for weeks at a time because I had a glimmer of a hope of carving out 20 minutes on stage somewhere to hone my stand-up comedy or rattle out some folksy tunes on my mandolin. The next, I just didn't feel that those pursuits were worthy of the time, the effort, the risks needing to be taken. One year, I was the most beautiful of men, the envy of other would-be male suitors, and the heart's desire of the women who met me. The next, I was quiet, subdued, and far from any woman's daydream. How? How did this come to be? The answer is, of course, as with all things in life, an utterly convoluted and complex one. Answers, really, as there is no singular stumbling block that has sent me falling so very hard and so very far from who I was. No, who I am, who I still somehow, somewhere remain. Like any good story of a hero's fall, mine started with a girl. A succession of girls, actually. It's a litany of cliches when I write it all out. The high school girlfriend that the world is shaped around who eventually leaves the poor schmuck boy who is too blind to move on from their former love and his former glories. The college girlfriend, who is light years out of the boy's league, but who still loves him inexorably. That is, until he allows his own demons and dismal self-esteem to drive her away with such ridiculous fictions and such potent volatility that, to her, his name will become a hushed curse for the worst of times. The sequence of no-names that were experiments in regaining some of that lost self-esteem that results in an utter loss of self-control, only cementing the boy's cynicism and hostility toward love, toward himself. The older dreamer that adores the boy, but the boy can't drag himself out of those dark places to bring himself to love her back. The second sequence of no-names, taken on as penance for his previous sins, a means of self-imposed immersement. And the list goes on, and on, and on, and on. Those wasted years find me in an awkward place. Time has had its way with me, and I can no longer continue down that dark but sumptuous carnal oscillation between redemption and damnation. No, now I am outside of that, which has prompted an epiphany of sorts. All of that rockiness that defined my youthful attempts at romance and hedonism was also what drove my art, what maintained my creative vigor, placing me squarely into an unenviable, unavoidable catch-22. So, here I sit reading the genius of others as my own wanes, utterly unable to disturb the universe, eat a peach, or sing my own songs by the ocean's shore, paralyzed in inaction and my own menacing diffidence, and an overabundance of coffee spoons. Thank you for listening to Yell Low, or 100 Indecisions, an original short story by me, Jared I. McGee. The backing track for this story was taken from the Free Music Archive at freemusicarchive.org, an amazing community of artists that set out to help one another through the sharing of their art. The title of the track is The Cave by Visnet, and is being used under an Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives 4.0 International License. A sincere thank you to Visnet for sharing their work with the world, and to the Free Music Archive for their contribution.
That does it this week for Prose. As you continue about your day, I do hope that you'll love those around you, tell them that you do, and embrace this life as it is always stranger than fiction. Thank you so much for listening.